I will be the first to admit that joke was really, really bad. And I will also be the first to admit that I don't particularly care. And welcome back to Going Green here on Music Free Gaming. I hope you're having a fabulous day. And I'm looking at here, well, I'm actually not looking at all my farms. They're behind me. But I've got all these farms and they're just sitting here spinning happily away. And it's getting to a point where, honestly, I'm getting way too much stuff. I have like 35,000 cherry logs, for example. I think it's time to start getting in some automation control, which will help control these farms, but will be the next step on my farm to table world domination scheme. All right, let's get to it. So let me give you an example here. Here's my wood storage, right? And I've got 38,000 cherry logs, and that's rapidly going up. It's like, how much wood do I actually need? So the good news is there are ways of dealing with this, right? CreateMod has a wireless link, so you can use wireless redstone. It's got a clutch, so you can stop your machinery. I just need a way of actually doing all of the control and figuring out where everything is. So that's going to be the goal here, is to get the control system in place so I can actually stop those farms. Now, to make this work, I think, is I've set up these cables here, right? These are the Tom Simple storage cables that connect this storage array, that storage array, and my main storage array downstairs all into one system. So I can actually access it all from downstairs. But there's a cable back here, and right down here. So I think what I'm going to do is tap that. And you can see I've already got it run over here. I think I'm going to start laying out some of the circuits over here. Though I may put the wood ones on the other side. I don't know yet. So this is what the basic setup is. Now, what I have here is, what do they call this? A level emitter, right? So what this does is it reads from the cable and it says whatever you've got. So let's use oak, for example. If I take an oak log and I want this to be greater than, say, 50,000, right? Which seems like a good number. Then, in theory, assuming I've got this all connected correctly, which is an interesting question, which I don't think I have more than 50,000. Yeah, I've got less. And that's powering that. Okay, my redstone knowledge is a little silly. So we'll just drop that in there. Okay, cool. So now what'll happen is if I have more, oops, wrong. If I have more than 50,000 oak, because I've got that backwards. So if it's more than 50,000 oak, this will turn on. And this, anything I want to send redstone to happens here. So we're going to go play with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is slap a redstone link up here. And let's see, what do I need? I'm going to do a shaft. So you have to set a frequency on these guys. So I'm going to set a shaft and an oak log. I'm also going to lower this down to, let's make it 10,000. Okay. So you can see the radio's on. This is all on. And I'm just going to lower it down so I can see that it's actually working when I get up to the, the oak factory that's up there somewhere. So let's go hit the oak side of it. So here I am at the oak farm. The first thing I'm going to do is let's stop this machine. Okay, so that we're not having to dodge all of the saw blades. And then what I need to do is get down here to the machinery and hook up all of the redstone. Okay, so dug this out here. So obviously there's the water wheel. There's the clutch. Now what's cool about a clutch is when you give it redstone signal, it stops all of the rotation that comes up top. So what I'm going to do is we'll program this so it's got the same frequency, shaft and oak, that the other Dealy Bob had. And we'll set this to receive mode. You see it, the redstone turned on there? So that means it's receiving. So let's go ahead and activate it. Now it's not going to do anything because it's off. And apparently I lost the slab. Cool. We'll replace that in a minute. So let's go down, turn up the redstone emitter, and watch what happens. All right, so 50,000 is a good round number. We'll go ahead and set that. Now this is off again. So if let's free cam up, and yeah, you can see the oak machine is going again. All right, which is great. And if I return this back down to 10,000, right, you can see the redstone turns on here, and the oak machine has stopped, right? And so that's how we're going to set up all of these machines, so that when I hit whatever quota I want to hit, the machines will stop, and will stop filling up my storage with all of the random stuff that I'm not going to use, probably. Cool. So oak is done. Time to go hit the other trees. So here's our first control board, right? So I'm continuing the same basic design I have downstairs with the pillared crimsite, the deep slate, and all this good stuff. And I need to figure out how the rest of this wall is going to connect in with whatever else is happening over here. I think I'm going to be putting a sugar farm and a kelp farm over this way somewhere. But yeah, this is going to look nice. And as these start lighting up with the things that we've actually got enough of, oh yeah, this is going to be fun. It's going to look really cool when they're all lit. I mean, okay, I don't have any acacia yet. And in fact, I think I spelled acacia wrong because, you know, reasons or something. That's probably still wrong. Whatever. In any case, I don't have it yet, so who cares how it's spelled? But yeah, so all the wood farms at least now have a shutoff valve. So now it's time to go and kick in the rest of the veggies up there. Now, the problem I have with these vegetable farms is they're awesome and amazing and all that good stuff, but I set them up, well, before I had half my redstone stuff. So I don't have a clutch down here. You know, all that's annoying. So what I have to do is, you know, basically rebuild the bottom half of these machines. The whole water wheel and stuff, it just goes in here. Okay, suck up all that stuff. But it's just going to go in here like this. Now I can let the water flow, and I can put the clutch in. So much inventory space isn't a problem at all in Minecraft. But yeah, so, and then it's just the same deal that we had before. Just, yeah, set up the radio link, shafts, and in this case, it's wheat. Boom. And boom. Awesome. So now I just need to get out of here, replant the fields, not get run over by a harvester, and we should be good to go. Cabbage farm, here we go. Oh, hey, I'm holding cabbage seeds. Hate it when that happens. You ever have those moments where you're trying to get something done, you just find out you're suddenly holding cabbage seeds? I know, it's weird, right? It feels like it happens. Whack! Okay. That was weird too. But hey, we're good. We're fine. And I'm hoping the water doesn't pour down through my cable. No, I'm sure we'll be fine. Yeah, absolutely. This is gonna be great. Okay, yeah, no, we're good. The water didn't flow down or anything, so we're excited and happy. And also, I think I forgot to put the redstone link on the potatoes. Well, that's a silly thing. Now I'm gonna have to go check. Okay, hang on. We got to let the horse walk through first. You know, he's inspecting the machinery. You know, you got to have somebody going through, checking your work, you know, making sure it's okay. And obviously, a horse is the best choice because of all of the horse sense or something, right? Is that how that works? I don't know anything about horses. I'm sure they're excellent at electrical engineering and storage systems. That, you know, probably amazing. And the melon farm is done now, and that is the last one that I had to set up. So these are all now programmed and set. So when they start getting over my programmed amounts, which is 10 or 20,000 depending on the veggie, we should be good. They should stop and the harvesting will be done. So the only weird one was the melons, because I've got them in the same farm with the pumpkins, and someday I may split those out, but today is not that day. And looks like we are set. So as soon as anything gets up high, and like, I think I've got the tomatoes programmed for like 20,000. Oh, onions. I forgot to do onions. Okay. I don't have all the veggies done. Okay, I guess I've got one more thing to do. But once everything else here is all done, we should be great. Well, it turns out I actually forgot to do onions, and you never want to forget the onions. That's what makes your burger taste great. But I'm already at the 10,000 onions, over 10,000 onions that I have programmed into the control board. So this is done. This machine is done farming for a while, so awesome. So now I guess I need to figure out what the next step for automating food production is, because I'm really starting to get to that point. Like, not just growing fruits and veggies, but actually, no, seriously, actually starting to automate all of the food. Because that's the goal here. I'm actually excited to get to this point. Now, one thing I do have to set up controls for is a bunch of stuff I actually built over Thanksgiving break. I took a break from streaming, but not from playing Minecraft. And I built, well, an industrial monster. Over here, I've got a bunch of machines. Let me free cam up so you can see them. I've got a cobblestone generator up here, which fills this, and it's full, which is why it stopped. The cobblestone goes through these crushing wheels to become gravel, which goes through these crushing wheels to become sand. And then over here, the gravel, some of it just is gravel. Some of it goes through here and gets washed, and you get flint and iron when you do that. But the flint and the gravel, I'm pushing in here, and I'm pumping in, ooh, scaffolding, that's not great. But I'm pumping in some lava, and when this runs, I get andesite in this chest, which is awesome. And then over here on the sand side, when this thing is running, I've got some fans that blow and turn all of this sand into quartz, and, well, it turns the sand into soul sand, and then the soul sand gets turned into quartz and something else. Gold. Sorry, I'm looking for the switch. I think it's over here. Yeah, see, right now it's just a manual switch. And see, there's all the fans blowing. It haunts the sand, turns it into soul sand, which turns it into quartz and gold. Which is great because I need quartz for lots of redstone things, and I need gold for some of the create mod stuff. But I don't want to have to come over here and manually flip this switch on and off all the time. So here's another spot where, you know, setting up a little control system is probably going to be a good thing. The catch is, I don't know where to put the control board. The next thing I want to automate here, at least with the easy wireless stuff like I did with the veggies, is quartz production. So I've got the factory out there, and I think I'm going to put the control room for that kind of in here. I'm not going to be doing a whole lot, so I think this little bitty space is going to be good enough, though maybe I'll take the roof up just a little bit. It should be fine. It'll be great. Totally. I think I know what I'm doing. Yes, totally know what I'm doing. I'm going to connect to my storage here, maybe not fall down that hole. No, I'm almost certainly going to fall down that hole, but I'm going to try, just bring this cable over this way, and this should get me into the storage so I can get all of the, you know, data and stuff that I need, because data's a good thing. Also, was a really fun character in Star Trek, but also a good thing to have when you're, you know, designing farms and doing automated control systems and things. So that's going to go up there. Go ahead and expand that way. We'll take our emitter, plop like that, and this is going to be real easy, right? We're going to take some quartz, because I can spell. Totally, spelling is a thing. And we're going to say, I don't know, 10,000 quartz? We'll make it 30,000. Why not? And I don't know how many I have, but that should be enough. And we'll just get this link going from here. Yeah. Yep, and there we've got the output side of the radio link controlling this farm. So this will be good. So when I get to 30,000 quartz, and I'm at like 22,000, so this should go fairly quick, then it'll turn off the machine and everything will be lovely. Now it's time to get to some really fun stuff. I've got this area down here. Now this is where I want to start setting up the first bits of actual food automation production stuff, right? Now, there are basically 4 machines I need to set up. I need to set up a slicer. I need a mixer that's not heated, just a plain mixer, a mill or a grindstone, and a smoker. And that's going to be a fan and fires. Just like I've got up there, but I'm going to set up something down here so that I can feed all of my fruits and veggies into it. So that's going to be the fun and exciting bit here. And I guess I'll figure out which machine I want to do first. So this shaft right here, and actually this whole thing, this is part of my workshop that's up this way. But it's pulling main power. All of this rotational stuff is coming from these steam engines. So this is a perfect source of power. In fact, I'll just run that way a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll tap into this and run power over to the rest of the system that's sitting out here. Now, exactly how and where I'm going to do that, I'm not entirely sure, because I do want this to look good out this way. But I do have to get things like, I have to connect a cog to the slicer here, for example. So we'll get all that figured out. I'm sure it'll be nice and easy. Redstone links, that's these guys. Oh, I need brass casings. Lovely. Okay. Brass. Awesome, I've got brass. Cool. And then do I have stripped logs? Okay. Close enough. And by close enough, I mean that's exactly what I'm looking for. I know. It's sometimes, you know, I look at these things and wonder, am I actually thinking as I walk through this process? And and sometimes I think, I'm not sure that I am. But hey, at least we've got an automated thing to finger my stripped logs, I guess. So that's not at all awkward or something. So here is my first test. I'm connected to the main storage line, and I've got this set so that it's only going to output cabbage, this hopper dealy bob. In theory, it's locked by this radio. So if I hit this switch, yeah, you saw that cabbage go by? Awesome. The slicer did absolutely nothing to it, but it kind of, at least the inventory stuff did what it's supposed to. Now I just need to figure out why this cabbage is doing nothing. Well, apparently all I needed to make this thing work is to change the direction of the slicer so that these knives were going in the right way, which I guess makes sense. So now when cabbage goes through there, it gets sucked down into this chute and into the barrel. Now we'll deal with that in a minute, but that means that whenever I get a redstone signal coming this way, right, that's just going to send cabbage down this line, or anything else I send down this line, and it's going to output here in the barrel. Awesome. So that is round 1. So I've swapped out the barrel here at the end of the line with a vault, so that I've got 2 blocks worth of stuff here. And this way I can use 2 hoppers to pull stuff out. Since the slicers basically give me 2 of whatever I'm cutting, like the cabbage, when I slice it, becomes 2 cabbage leaves. And I think that's the same thing with all of the, like the meat and stuff. Like if I were to chop up, I don't know, chicken, I get 2 chicken cuts instead of just the 1 chicken. So pulling it out there at twice the speed it's being fed in, right? Because remember, it's being fed in by a single hopper, is probably a good thing and will keep all of this balanced a little better. All right, so I'm just going to run this way, and we'll tap into the main storage line right over here. All right, yes, yeah, this is going to make the sense. Right, the sense is going to be made. It's like working in a mint. Okay, just end up making sense all day. Okay, I will be the first to admit that joke was really, really bad. And I will also be the first to admit that I don't particularly care. Because puns are fun, and I don't care what anybody says. I now have the output, at least theoretically, hooked up to the main storage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on. Okay, and it's going to start feeding cabbage into the slicer. So what I want to do is I'm going to come up here and look at the main storage, and let's look at cabbage. And what we're seeing now, the heads of cabbage are going down and the leaves of cabbage are going up. Perfect. This is exactly how this system is supposed to work. So I now have at least the theoretical working of a cabbage slicer. Now, the reality is I then now need to hook all of this up to the same sort of inventory systems that I've built for just the raw veggies and stuff, so that when I get, say, 3,000 cabbage leaves or something like that, it will stop this hopper. Okay? That's the master plan. So now it's time to go do the master planning, or I don't know. I don't work on plans. This is all new for me. All right, let's go do the thing. I've decided I'm going to take this wall and shift it so it goes down parallel to these chests. So all of this that I did just a minute ago, yeah, all of this is coming out. But that's okay, because this is going to look, it's going to look better. It's going to be slightly better organized, perhaps. And yeah, it should be totally fine. So go ahead and take that off. Okay, now this should be set. All right, we don't have, I did jump this up. Maybe I'll take it back down. I originally set it 10,000 cabbage heads. We'll do that. And let's take this to 5,000 leaves. 5,000 leaves. That should be more than enough for all of the foods we're going to be making. Okay? And because I'm not at those numbers, these lights aren't on. So if I go downstairs and turn off the radio that's down there, this should start cutting up cabbage for me. I set the radio upstairs, or the inventory level thing, darn it. Let's get back up. Anyway, I set the inventory level thing at 500 cabbage leaves. So what we should see here soon is that we're going to hit 500, and then this machine is going to stop. Yeah, so this should go fairly quickly, actually. And there it goes. The light is on, the cabbages have stopped, we must have 500 leaves. Perfect, and that's exactly how the automation is supposed to work. So I've set up another radio for the pumpkin slices. Of course, set it up upstairs, we've got another one here. this is filtered for pumpkins. So now when I connect it to the storage, now you can see pumpkins are coming out. And we've got all of the slicey dicey happening. So we're getting cabbage leaves and we're getting pumpkin slices. And as I get the rest of this stuff out here, which is basically going to be mutton and cod and pork chops and beef and chicken and stuff, right? Because cutting raw meats and raw vegetables on the same machine is the healthiest thing in the world. It's not the healthiest thing in the world. Don't do that. But in Minecraft, it's okay. So we'll just take it all through the same machine. And we've got this lovely, beautiful system happening right here where we will get all of the slicing and dicing done. All right, I've got the decorations in place. So this is what the modules are gonna kind of look like, right? You'll be able to see stuff coming across the mechanical belt. Machinery will be there, and you'll be able to watch it slice and dice and do all of its stuff. Now, it's not doing anything because it's done collecting... well, it's definitely done collecting cabbage leaves. And it looks like it's done doing the pumpkin slices as well. So, it's... all of the slicing that needs to happen is, well, done. At least until I get all the meat hooked up. Cool. So the next thing I need to do is set up the stations for a mixer. Actually, the mixer's got to wait a little bit because I've got to do some... I need milk and stuff. Milk and water and things like that. But I also need to do a mill and I need to do a smoker. And those aren't going to be too bad. So it's just going to be a matter of getting them placed and all of that stuff. But I think this is going to look sweet as I get these machines all filled out here. And a little while has passed and I now have a couple of more modules down here in this area. Here's the smoker. And it's just fans blowing across fire. And you can see I've got some potatoes going through here. They're getting all roasted and becoming baked potatoes. So that's fun and exciting. And then over here, I've got a mill. And so this is going to be for a number of things. But the biggest thing I need it for is converting the rice panicles into rice, which I can then use in all of the recipes and things. I can also use it to turn wheat into flour and, you know, that type of thing. So anything I need to mill, I can do here. I can also turn sugar cane into sugar, right? So all of that good stuff is going to come through here, and that's going to be great. Now, I've got some space here. I don't know quite what I'm going to put in this area, but I'm almost certain that in this space, and I'm thinking maybe even over in this space, I'm going to put in the mixers. Now, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. I think it's going to be a project for another day. But I'm really close to having all of the automation I need for all of the ingredients. Now, I don't have all of the ingredients because I need to do, a meat factory and some of those other things. But getting close. And apparently, I have a farmer? All right, well, cool. It's nice to have an employee. Last thing I want to talk about is I did decide to move my control panel over here in front of the chests in my warehouse, right? Remember I had all the veggie stuff here at the beginning? Yeah, I moved them all over here in front of the chests. Now, it did make it a little bit tougher to actually get to the control panel so I can see what was where, but by the power of, well, longer cables and extension cords, I've moved the connectors over here so that I can see, well, in this case, everything, right? I can see all of the logs. I can see all of the potatoes. This is all the potatoes. Yes, all of the foods, right? I can see all of that stuff just like I can downstairs. So I've got this nice little control panel and I can reach here. This is trash, basically. So that's fabulous. Okay. Now, I haven't moved the stuff for the logs yet. I think I will, but I want to be sure I know what else is going to go here. But, you know, moving those over is not going to be that big a deal. So this is, ultimately, I think this is going to look really nice, and it'll be fun once, you know, hey, all of these lights are on and all that good stuff. So awesome, awesome. And I've got some other plans up here as well, but we'll see how it goes as I get through things. But that is going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, just like this villager, as I'm really starting to get all of this automation in place. It's been a lot of work getting here, but we're finally starting to get here and make progress, and I love it. I do. This is where the fun is. I love this stuff. So if you've had fun, if you liked automation, whatever, like the video, subscribe, drop a comment. It's all good. It's all fine. We can enjoy this together. And until next time, be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Gaming signing off.